Hello to all our travel advisor partners. It's Richard again, sending you a happy Labor Day greeting from all of your friends here at the Royal Caribbean Group. Labor Day was born at the very end of the Industrial Revolution to celebrate the achievements of the American worker. It's a day to salute the workers of this country and the contributions made to the strength, prosperity, and the well-being of our great nation. But this Labor Day, I also think of all the people who are not working productively because of the pandemic. I think of the untold grief and misery that this pandemic and the steps we've taken to control it have caused to people across the land. People who just want to work or operate their businesses or raise their children. That includes so many of you in the travel and tourism business. But you've persevered. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank so many of our travel advisors who have continued to work with us and continue to prepare for the day when our industry comes roaring back. Against that background, I'm really more encouraged than I have been in a long time. It's unbelievable to think that we've been at home for nearly 6 months. These past months have been challenging on so many fronts. And I only use the word challenging because I wouldn't want my grandchildren to hear me use any of the shorter and more colorful words that I'm really thinking. But there's been a lot of good news lately to get excited about. I've even taken the opportunity to get a haircut. I did it outside and I was wearing proper face coverings, etc. But nevertheless, I got an actual haircut. I remember a while ago paraphrasing Churchill, saying that we were approaching the end of the beginning. Today, I'm beginning to feel more positive that we may be within sight of the end. We're certainly not at the end, and we certainly have quite a ways to go. The current spike is coming down, but most observers expect another spike or even a wave in the fall. But the pace of change has accelerated. Many positive developments are really beginning to bear fruit. We all know that we can't eliminate the virus. Our goal is to control the spread to a manageable limit. There are 3 main tools at our disposal to accomplish that. Those are better treatment, better testing, and ultimately a vaccine. The recent progress on each of these has been very encouraging. As a start, the progress our doctors and hospitals have made has been nothing short of miraculous. New drugs, new treatments, and new knowledge have driven the fatality rate down dramatically, and it represents an important piece of this so important puzzle. The biggest news recently has been the development of these new so-called lateral flow testing. They're called lateral flow tests because instead of using a vial or other container to run the sample through some machine, the sample is simply swiped laterally across a card about the size of a credit card. The card, in 15 minutes, then gives a result in a manner analogous to the way a pregnancy test works. No sending to labs, no machines, and relatively cheap. This is huge. It will allow broad-based testing and identification of positive cases, which is the holy grail of epidemiologists. If we know who has the disease, we can isolate those few people instead of isolating all of society. And lastly, the news about a vaccine seems more positive every day. The 2 leading candidates for the vaccine, Moderna and Pfizer, are both far along in their final trials. People are clearly optimistic that these vaccines will be both safe and effective. It's important to remember that a vaccine won't be an instantaneous fix. However, when we look at all these things, all these developments holistically, they combine to give us a very good hope for a normal future relatively soon. And the cruise industry hasn't been idle during this period. We at the Royal Caribbean Group have continued to work with you, our travel advisors, to work through this period and prepare for the resumption of service. We're particularly pleased with the work of the Healthy Sail Panel, chaired by Governor Mike Leavitt and Dr. Scott Gottlieb. We organized the panel jointly with Norwegian Cruise Holdings, and we couldn't be more pleased. As you know, at Royal Caribbean, part of our success throughout our history has been the passion of our people. They really care about what they do, and their passion continuously drives us to new heights. What has impressed me has been the similar passion that the panel members have brought to their task. They have been thorough, they have been focused, and they have been engaged. They've devoted an amazing amount of time and effort to the project, and I've been blown away by their commitment. They really care. Just to give one example, when a question arose about ventilation systems on board, they engaged leading experts to run detailed testing. They installed equipment that released billions of microparticles, and then they measured how these microparticles behaved in different areas and under different conditions. It took weeks to develop the testing protocols, set up the equipment, and evaluate the results. But the result was a science-based answer to just one aspect of their work, and provided a very positive and science-based answer regarding our HVAC system. As we and others have said before, cruise ships are special environments. Some of it presents special needs, but it also offers special opportunities. We've been especially impressed with how the Healthy Sail panel has balanced health protocols and our unique environment. The goal of our panelists continues to be to develop procedures and protocols that mean you will be safer on a cruise ship than in your hometown, while still feeling like you're on a vacation. And we are increasingly optimistic that we will succeed in that goal. Our measured approach to a healthy return to service has allowed us to plan for a measured return when the science allows, rather than the approach of trying to restart in the face of yesterday's news. To paraphrase Wayne Gretzky, we are skating to where the hockey puck will be rather than where it is now. We are in sight of the downward slope. Like everything about this disease, it's a rocky slope, but we're getting closer to the other side of this crisis every day, and I'm excited about that. Now, remember, put on those face coverings and wash those hands.